Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om, everybody.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Swamiji.
Swamiji, Pranabas.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om, everybody. It's very important. Because it contains the cream of what is explained in Quest of God. 1 minute, please. Unless they, it was a two-way traffic. If only. Now can you hear?
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Abba.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. We have not properly connected the Bluetooth anyhow.
Yes, Swamiji.
Jaggu came and repaired.
Hari Om, Swamiji. Pranam, Swamiji.
Yeah, tell me now.
Swamiji, இந்த மாதிரி பப்பா கேட்பாரு இல்லையா, பப்பாக்கு கேட்காம இருந்துட்டா என்ன பண்றது?
Somebody will come and do it now. He creates problem, but he solves it, no?
He will have to solve it for us, Swamiji.
So immediately it strikes to us that we should get in touch with people. They immediately ran up from their place, and then okay, they set it right. Whatever is possible, okay. Probably it's a test on us. We can't arrogate too much. Everything we have to depend upon him through his creations. Every time, the assertion should come. By ourselves, it may not be possible. He may root it through many things, through us. But let us not take it as granted. He may have his own reasons to hold back many things. Anyway, he solves it, that is important. Why should we be worried? Yes, again it is gone. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Swamiji. No.
Okay, Swamiji, can I ask you one question? In the entire book, In Quest of God, Papa shows, in two places, he shows interest in seeing a saint or going to Himalayas. These are the two places where he shows his own interest, his own rest. Everything is done by Ram alone. Whether he gets darshan or not, everything is accepted. There is no planning, no nothing. But once for seeing Swami Aurobindo that time and for going to Himalayas, he shows Papa, is that an indication for us to have such thoughts to get a darshan of a saint or to go to, where spiritual places like satsangs and ashrams. That kind of a desire is accepted?
Sure. Because you just go back to your own. When we happen to, or when God made us to get in touch with spiritually illumined persons, directly or indirectly. Directly means having their darshan. Indirectly means through their teaching, somebody conveying to us. Then only this entire thing got ignited or kindled in us. So periodical satsang is definitely a must for aspirants, because they are full timers. So though they have the priorities for the spiritual journey, still the pulls from the vyavaharic side, it is so dominant where we forget about it. We used to apply the same norms which we were doing it. Actually, we should have a new norm. We are trying to get a new norm so that the wall is demolished. But until such time, until the demolition takes place, it is always better, or it is a must rather, to seek the company of evolved persons, to keep it aflame. We have to do this. Even the satsang is a part of it. Because every day we are touched and kindled. Throughout the waking time, we are not involved in the same line of thinking. Everything boils down to 2-3 things. Watchful, attentive awareness. And so that we don't have to superimpose anything on incidents or individuals or objects or situations. There is a struggle in all of us. How to bring this God dimension there, no? There is a struggle. Because we have been told, try to see the finger of God in everything. So the moment that word goes in, we take God also as an object. And then we try to superimpose that dimension, which we will never succeed. So we have to try some other method for this God dimension. Accepting everything as they are. No? So this watchful, attentive awareness, kindly. Papa says it as a watcher. No? Ramnam chanting should enable us to lead us to this watching, so that we don't have to bother about anything else. Let anything happen. Now the connection was not there. Immediately the anxiety is there. If it's not possible, it will be a one-way traffic, which is not the purpose of this satsang. What do we do? Immediately, the place where our friends are staying is about more than 200-300 feet. So immediately we contacted. They rushed up. Then they tried and they knew that the Bluetooth connection was somehow not all right. So similarly, whatever is to be done, it will be done by him. We don't have to though we may at the moment feel that we have to organize it, the shortest possible time we realize that probably this small incident is also to make us aware that an unknown factor is always there. That unknown factor decides everything. Though it remains unknown, he makes it known at a particular time. Try to think about this word. Watchful, attentive awareness. To develop that, me to him inside, me to we outside. Yes.
Hariam Swamiji, Sadhu Pranam.
Pranam, Sadhu.
Swamiji, Papa says that we should expand our love. Love all equally. Each and every person, each and every thing we have to love equally. So whatever we try, but still there is slight more love for family members. So that becomes like attachment. So how can we remove that attachment and we expand our love, same love for all in the world?
Having traveled so far now, is it not high time that we try to define every word ourselves? We are now trying to rely on the words of others, including Papa. And we believe we have understood, but we have not understood. So here we should know that the time has come for all of us. When we hear a word, we try to understand it through our own language. Otherwise, our love defined by somebody else will not become a reality in our life. So this is what is essentially needed. Because a stage has come when we should know this. Whether we like it or not, so meditation is a search to oneself to dispel the pattern of thought, to enter the tranquility within. So here, when Papa says love all, he also said to love all means to love none. The very word love comes when there is an object. Loved one. The lover and the loved one. So when we have to love all, how? That means, we cannot specify our love. Limit our love to one person, one object, or a group of person or a group of objects. That is the real love which Papa says. Love stands for that reality. A reality because of which you and I are now hearing or talking or feeling that we are here. Love is life. So love means it is not that love. So we have to understand this, Normally when we say we love him, I am there and the loved person is there. Then as you said, it will lead to attachment or aversion later. Because it is a person-to-person relationship. We develop a certain affinity and call it as love. After some time, the same person to whom we gave love, we may not give the same love at all. That is not love. That is not the love that Papa talks of. So in fact, when there is absence of otherness, that is called love. Hereafter, we have to try to understand it in our own language. Papa has guided us up to that extent. we will read out one, we must have read this many a time, but again we will read out one word of Papa. The life of the individual must grow like a bud into a flower and a flower into a fruit. As we provide the necessary conditions and environment for the growth and fruition of the bud into fruit, so also is it with the life. In the life of the adult spiritual aspirant, this is very important. In the life of adult spiritual aspirant, the best discipline for his advancement and ultimate realization is the self-imposed discipline. Fear, imitation and abject implicit obedience to the law set by anyone, however highly evolved he may be, will, instead of bringing into being an illumined individual, only produce a human robot without initiative, all its inner powers and beauty unexpressed and unrevealed. That means, it is inherent in all of us. Because of our devotion, we keep on thinking about the words of wisdom given by others. It has helped us to reach some stage. But when we find the door is not opening, then again, Papa comes to our rescue by telling that don't rely anymore on any outside factors. Papa again clearly mentioned the keen aspiration for attaining the highest truth must be there. Contact with the divinely illumined personality must also be there. But the unfoldment of the hidden divine life and truth in the sadhaka must take place according to the nature and qualities of his inner and outer life and being. We know that we cannot hasten the ripening of a raw fruit, and if we by any process cause it to ripen artificially and prematurely, the taste of the fruit will never be the same. Saints are therefore called the awakeners, whose great works on the sadhaka like the sunlight on the lotus bud. Unless the ego sense disappears, the divine life in us can never reveal. So gently Papa is telling, the time has now come for all of us to find out everything by ourselves. That is why this meditative chanting is recommended. What is meditation? Meditation is a search into oneself to dispel the pattern of thought, to enter the tranquility within. With this background, when we chant, to dispel the thoughts, to enter into tranquility, which is our original being. When we do that, what is suitable for us, what is convenient for us, what is comfortable for us will emerge out. That is why, when we say, Papa, we should just simply this word, switch on your wire for direct communication. Are we unknowingly routing it through, Papa? Is that the reason why we have not heard? Whereas Papa says that directly to switch on, that means the time has come for all of us to devise the sadhana for ourselves. So far we have been hearing, we have been storing a lot of things. It has helped us to reach this stage. But beyond this stage, Papa himself says, it should be according to your nature, your characteristics. So, probably, it can be called as the advanced studies, okay. Because he wants every one of us to reach, he reaches the stage, he wants every one of us to reach that stage. Looking within. That is why all these things are suggested. Solitude, mental chanting, becoming aware of the watcher. When we make our move towards that, mysteriously, further guidance comes from within. It may be a little too serious or tough. We have to do some inward journeys, shedding all these things. Samadhiya?
Yes, clear, Swamiji. Very clear. Very clear. Yes.
One more quotation I will read.
Okay, yeah.
One more quotation, yeah. The day will come when you have to leave all these behind and go to meet the eternal inside. In the perfect nakedness of your spirit, shedding all make-believe forms, customs and traditions, even the memorized knowledge. The day will come when you have to leave all these behind and go to meet the eternal. In the perfect nakedness of the soul, whatever we have put on, we have to remove. Even under the banner of spirituality, we have acquired so many things. But all those things are appendages. That is why Papa used to say, sadhana is to know that by sadhana we cannot attain. First we did not understand what he meant. Then why am I doing this sadhana? Then only we will come to realize this. Instead of some other thought, we are replacing it with positive thoughts, ennobling thoughts, elevating thoughts, and this also has to go to reach that watchful, attentive awareness. Those of you who have the book Divine Life, you can find some articles of Papa addressing himself as I, and where he cannot contain, in that ecstatic state when he goes there and he expresses and puts it in writing for all of us to know. Oh, it is purely an individual, evolution. Basic things we should know. Forget about transforming anybody or anything. Nobody can do that. Nobody need to have that feeling. I have to refine myself, that's all. Because he has got his own design through many of us, or all of us. And we are trying to reform others, The designer is different. So we are now trying to refine ourselves with all that he has provided, and then a stage comes when whatever that has come from outside has its limitation. So we leave behind it and then go by ourselves. We have to do by ourselves. There is no question. There is no exemption. It is my own journey. Everybody should think. is a journey into the inner self. Everyone should think this. Now here, this is my own journey. The sense of individuality is trying to become aware of its limitation and then pleads, I can't go beyond this. Please help me. See, IQG in the study leads us to all this. How was he able to maintain the same steadiness? Because he was well rooted, well grounded in this. And hardly he has received anything from outside. No? Though he was open like a child. We could understand that everything came from within. He was seeking guidance from within. This prime point, this vital point, this pivotal point, which we have missed all these years. So he was purely relying on him who is within. Once in a way he used to read, okay. But you will find during this IQG travel, seldom does he say about it. Excepting in Chidambaram, he said he opened the book and then reading Bhagavad Gita, something like that. But otherwise, meditatively chanting. That means touching the core every now and then. And at the same time, functioning as an individual outside. So we will all now try. The external prop has served us. The external prop now indicates that for your further thing you have to do it by yourself. And this is what he did. This is what Mataji did. 2.5 years. The final letter of Mataji, after Papa asked her to move away from the ashram. Unless I see Ramdas inside, I will not see you. Meaning, the external prop is removed. She was relying on external prop, external support. Papa vehemently said no. I will try to read her words.
Swamiji, Swamiji.
A particular letter.
Parichaya.
During your fast, you began it by saying, then came their intense aspiration to merge in the eternal, and she wrote the following letter to Ramdas from Ramesh place. At that time, Krishnabai told you that she would also fast. You told her no. When Ram brings the occasion for you to fast, that means, in Asagor Ashram, Mataji was practicing and everything was okay, but Mataji was attached to the form of Papa. So Papa asked her to move away and she was in Ramesh place. From there she writes, the main object of your child's Krishnabai stay here is not to eat, take meals and sleep for 6 to 7 hours, but to become one with your eternal Swarup. That is to merge in the contemplation that you and Krishnabai are one. It is not known till when this object has reached. The means to expedite the fulfillment of the object is this. Green and sour tender mangoes are put in salt water and made yellow and saltish. In like manner, in order that Krishnabai might remain for 24 hours blissful in your loving Swarup, she should remain here from morning till evening and sleep on the Pirikunji hill, Ramgiri hill, at the cremation ground at night, coming to Ramabai's house early in the morning. It is not that she should go to the place where you are pervading everywhere. So if night is spent at any of these three places, this object will be accomplished soon. Just as by fasting without taking water, the object is soon fulfilled, so make this object also fulfilled soon. My compassionate Papa, as you have such writing work to do, I don't want to trouble you more. Write only one line. Krishna Bhai, act as you wish. It is sufficient if you write so much. There is only one way for the proud body to become one with the mind. Until the object is gained by Krishna Bhai, until this object is gained, Krishna Bhai will not see you. See, she was very, very, very clear now. She doesn't feel that she should be in Papa's company. It is not that she should go to the place where you are. You are pervading everywhere. Elsewhere she says the same word. No? So we must know that it is high time for all of us to rely on Papa within. Previously, if we read, we may not be able to understand. But now I think we slowly start realizing it. Yes, somebody wanted to say something, you know.
Swamiji, the chapter 23, chapter 23 ஒரு பப்பா ஒரு சாதுராம் பப்பாட்ட ஆர்கியூ பண்ணிட்டே இருக்கார். குறிப்பிடப்ப ஏதோ புரியாத மாதிரி ஏதோ சம்சயங்கள்லாம் கேட்டுட்டு இருக்கா. அப்போ பப்பா ஆன்சர் கொடுக்கிறார். என்னன்னு கேட்டா, സത്യം പറഞ്ഞാൽ രാമൻ സംസാരിക്കുന്നില്ല. ഉരയാടി തുടങ്ങുന്ന നിമിഷം രാമൻ അല്ലാതായി തീരുന്നു. അവിടെ നിമിഷം അവിടെ ദ്വൈതം കടന്നു വരുന്നു. പറയുന്നയാളും കേൾക്കുന്നയാളും ഏകവും അവിഭാജ്യവുമാണ്. രാമൻ എന്ന ചൈതന്യം അജ്ഞാനം ഒന്നു മാത്രമാണ്. മനുഷ്യനും സർവേശ്വരനും തമ്മിലുള്ള ഐക്യപ്പെടുത്തുന്ന വിഘാതമായി നിൽക്കുന്ന അഹംഭാവത്തിന് കാരണം. അഥവാ ഞാൻ തന്നെയാണ് ഈശ്വരൻ എന്ന ഏകഭാവത്തിൽ നിന്ന് അവനെ വേർപെടുത്തി നിർത്തുന്ന ഘടകം. கொஞ்சம் ஒரு டவுட் இருக்க, கொஞ்சம் ஒண்ணு சொல்லித்தரேன்னா சமைச்சு எப்படின்னு அது என்னதான் சொன்னது அப்பட கிளியரா எனக்கு
அந்த சைட்டும் பில்டிங் ஆலோசிச்சு பார்த்தா போயிடும்.
அதுதானா? ஓ, அது
பில்டிங் சொல்றது நம்ம எல்லாரும் பார்த்தா பில்டிங் தானே பார்ப்போம், சைட்டு பார்ப்போம்.
ஆமா,
சைட் இல்லைன்னா பில்டிங் இல்லையே.
இல்ல.
அப்போ இந்த வார்த்தையோட பேச்சு வருது, அந்த சைலன்ஸ் ஆன ஸ்டில்லான அந்த சைட்லயே வார்த்தைங்கிறது பில்டிங் வச்சுப்போம். അപ്പോ വാർത്ത ഒരിക്കലും അപ്പൊ ബിൽഡിംഗ് ഒരിക്കലും സൈറ്റ് ആവാതില്ല അന്ന അർത്ഥത്തില്. ആനാ സൈറ്റ് ഇല്ലാക്കി ബിൽഡിംഗ് വരാതെ, ബിൽഡിംഗ് ഇല്ലാക്കി സൈറ്റ് മനസ്സിലാവുകയും ചെയ്യാതെ. അപ്പൊ അതാകും. പക്ഷെ ആസ് എ മാറ്റർ ഓഫ് ഫാക്ട് Ram does not speak. The moment he speaks, he is not Ram. அப்போ என்ன மீன் பண்ணாதான் துவைதம் பண்ணு, நான் பேசுறேன். அப்போ என்ன சொல்லுவாரு இங்கிலீஷ்ல சொல்லுவா ஸ்டேட்டிக் அண்ட் டைனமிக். அந்த ஸ்டேட்டிக் அண்ட் டைனமிக் அதானது இப்போ இந்த டிவியில இப்போ லேப்டாப்ல நீங்க ஸ்கிரீனை பாக்குறேன், மற்றதையும் பாக்குறேன். ஸ்கிரீன் எப்போதும் இருக்கு இல்லையா? ஸ்கிரீன் இருக்கிறதுனால தானே பார்க்க முடியாது. ஆனா அந்த ஸ்கிரீன் யாரும் பார்க்கவே கிடையாது. ஸ்கிரீனை தானே பார்ப்போம் நம்ம. சீன் வேறையும் சீன்ல வந்த ப்ரொஜெக்ஷன் வேறையும் உள்ளது நமக்கு தெரியாது இல்லையா? அந்த அர்த்தத்தில் எடுத்து பார்ப்போம் இது.
Swamiji, from childhood, we have been taught so many things, so to do this, not to do that, to behave like this, not to behave like that. This is the religious belief and all that. All that is cramped up in our head. Is it necessary to unlearn all these things?
It is not a question of unlearning. It is that when we become more and more advanced, it automatically drops off by ourselves. We don't have to do anything. We try to transcend, It is a natural process. When you try to unlearn, it is an effort on your part. It will not help us. But unlearning what we have already learned, if it is an outcome of our progress, then we will not even aware that because naturally it gets dropped off. When the new leaves are coming, old leaves drop off by themselves. Similarly, we outgrow, whatever we were doing in our childhood days, we have outgrown now. Not that we forcefully, dropped it. So when the outgrowing, when we advance more and more, whatever we have been holding, it gets dropped off by itself, without even our aware of it. Otherwise, the risk is there. The sense of individuality, there will be a resistance, there will be friction. So let us try to grow more and more. And whatever is not needed will get dropped off by itself. Previously, for example, we would be satisfied with the service to a form, to a guru, to a deity. And now probably we would have felt, the guru and deity is within our heart. And he is there in everybody's heart. So we have to try to feel the same thing, though we may fail or forget. And so that means our attachment for those rituals will get dropped off. Though we have respect, reverence, adoration to all forms, our attitude changes. Everything. When you learn more and more of the grammar, whatever probably we were using, you were using it without the grammatical background, it drops off by itself, you correct yourself without even you are knowing that you are correcting. Just think about it. It is not a new thing for any of us. In our life, we see that outgrowing from one stage to another stage. We pass on depending upon our sincerity or earnestness. When we move on, the other thing gets dropped off with no pain, with no friction, with no resistance, with no reactions. Otherwise, you are trying to do something which is in you, which is embedded in you, and it will be difficult for you. Is that clear?
I've had this question particularly with respect to the study of IQG. Is it possible that when we are reading and trying to analyze, we do it from our preconcepts that we already have in mind? This is just a question which came to my mind. Would we do that?
Yeah, correct.
Preconceived notions.
We will be able to understand it only through the mind and intellect we have been given. But at the start itself, she makes it clear that the common thread is constant awareness of God and the feeling that He is doing everything. That is the central theme on which we have to hold on. So whenever our puny mind and intellect tries to interpret, this becomes clear to us. Are we moving in that direction? And when we do that, inch by inch, there may be snail's progress probably, inch by inch, because as you said, our own preconditions will pull us up and try to interpret it. So our progress may not be to that extent where we all feel we should have progressed. That pull, somehow we have to get out of it. Preconceived notions. We remove everything now. Start afresh. We try. It is not that easy, agree. Now when we chant Ram Nam, there is a different dimension now, what we have been chanting so far and now. Previously we were thinking that chanting is alright. Once in a way you chant and carry on with your life. Now we know, no, that's not possible. Once we got habituated to chanting, once we got a taste in chanting, when we started enjoying the chanting should also go with meditation. So when that stage is reached, the previous practice gets dropped off. Every time when the mechanical chanting goes on, you will be reminded from within, hey, what are you thinking? You are chanting the name of one who is seated within you, who is making you to chant. Do you remember that? Like that, the outgrowing. One can watch the outgrowing by oneself, which is a must. Otherwise, the progress will be stagnated. One without is that clear? Is it clear?
Yes, Swamiji, it's clear.
Please think about it. It may be a little tough, but that is the truth. Right?
I asked about unlearning. There are too many beliefs about
we would request every now and then when we are faced with such practical problems, going through Papa's background in a will help us. The first and foremost thing was, he was free from all these traditions. Preset notions, preset opinions. To him only there was one thing, that he is the doer, he is the thinker, he is the feeler, and he is everywhere. So it was very clear, and whatever is happening only by his will. So this was clear, and he was not looking for any guidance from anybody. But this was very, very, very clear to him. So every now and then when we try to go back to his life, whether we are on the right direction. That is necessary, because until the handing over becomes complete, every now and then we have to check up whether our mind is interpreting it or whether we are moving in the right direction. So we will know whether it is in the right direction by going through the biographical sketch of the sadhana of our preceptors. That will give us more and more clarity. Not that we are holding on there, we are just taking up, carrying, whether we are on the right direction or not. Let us try. It is tough.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes.
Swamiji, Papa switch on the wire for direct communication சொல்றாரு. புரியுது. But what Papa means by the telling Swamiji like that?
How can you explain? Switch on your wire for direct communication. You don't depend upon anything. Close your eye. He is there inside. I don't know where is the switch. Please help me to locate the switch. Like that, Something like that. We don't say that it should be like this. Again, suppose for that also we require outside factors means it is not going along with the statement, Switch on your direct communication.
One way I think it is like prayer to him. I think it's praying to him.
In whatever way you feel like you try. Direct communication, no external factors. It is something like, in a crowded place you are left there. You don't know which direction you have to go. You will find out, by your... You will ask after the people. And then you will not be satisfied if you are not convinced that that's the right direction. So like that, Papa now drops us at the center of a junction. And then up to this I have taken you. Now you go forward.
Thank you, sir. Correct, sir.
How am I to go forward? You ask. Not anybody outside. Ask yourself. Inward journey, inward journey, inward journey. All are silent. Very good. It is working.
All are going inward journey. All are going inward journey.
It is working. It is working. Because he cannot ask. If he asks, it is told, you have asked yourself. He can ask, no doubt he can ask.
Swamiji, Harim Swamiji, ஒரு கேள்வி வந்தது, ஆனா இப்ப கேட்க முடியாம அப்படியே மௌனமாயாச்சு.
குட். அப்படி முள்ள 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 உள்ளுக்கு போய் கேட்க தொடங்கலாம். Mysteriously he will bring the answers.
Swamiji, one more question, Swamiji. In the cave, 25th para, 25th para, Swamiji, you are nothing, Ramdas. You have no work, Ramdas. It is very good comes from you. It is all Rams. You are only a piece of stinking clay. Away with your vanity of the Ulrigar Papa. அதுல நம்ம கொஸ்டின் அது எப்படி மேலுக்கு வரும் பப்பாட கேட்டா இது வரைக்கும் ஆன்சர் வந்து வரலே தோணுச்சு. யோசிச்சுட்டு அதுல லிப்டி மேல ஏற மாட்டேங்கிறோம். அந்த லிப்டி அந்த பொசிஷன்லயே நாம இருக்கோம். என்னைக்காவது தெரியும் யோசிச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். போதுமா நீ ஏதாவது பண்ணலாமா? நாங்க என்ன பண்ண சொல்லுங்க சாமிஜி. கைண்ட்லி கிவ் an advice சாமிஜி.
என்ன சொன்னாலும் சொல்லுவாரு, வெளியிலேருந்து வர்றது நாட் ஹெல்ப். You have to switch on your wire for direct communication.
Reply பண்ண மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க.
Searching for the switch.
You are the switch, Swamiji. You are come to you for rescue. You help us, Swamiji.
அதுக்கு இப்போ அப்படி பிளைண்டா விடுறது இல்லையா வேற. Yes, ask us to chant Ramnam, mental chanting, அந்த plus அந்த right bhavam விசின்னு போட்ட, you will be able to find the switch. It is not that he has just abandoned us. No. He has not abandoned us.
Pursue கொண்டே இருக்கிறோம்.
We will again read that you must develop witness consciousness. Stand apart from the movements of the mind and watch. If you do so, the mind will become still in no time. To develop this witness consciousness, constant repetition of Ramnam is of great help. Witness consciousness cannot come all of a sudden. Long and continued practice of Ramnam is absolutely essential. To sit even for a short time, entirely detached from all objects, and to remain merged in your own self will give you the ecstatic joy. And you will thereafter be able to maintain this consciousness even when you are engaged in various activities. You can always remain conscious of the eternal, all-pervading changiness truth behind all movements in the manifestation. Then you are joyful. In the beginning, you will find that you lose the witness consciousness when you are engaged in any activity. By constant practice alone, you can be established. Constant remembrance of the divine awareness will gradually develop into the consciousness which you can live and move. If you have listened to Ramdas, you must have understood what he said. Try to accumulate it, put it into practice. So this is watchful, attentive awareness. It is a journey to the inner self. It is my own journey, everyone should think. And meditation is a search to oneself, to dispel the pattern of thoughts, to enter the tranquility within. So some clues they have given. They are not just left us. We are not orphans. We are not like orphans. No. Papa is taking us, he is giving us clues, but he wants us to do it. If we are again sitting and asking him, then he said, beyond this I cannot do anything.
You have to do yourself.
Correct. So this tussle will go on, this journey will go on. It is all good signs. No. Don't think that it is a bad sign. It is a good sign. Restlessness should come. I am not finding the page. What am I to do? Like that,
Yes.
I'm trying. I'm not keeping quiet. Because so far I have tried the switch only outside. Now I know I have to touch it inside. And where should I touch? I don't know. I have only one thing called the mind with me. Thoughts are with me. And where is the switch? So like that, when we start going deeper, then she will show us.
Swamiji, the mental chanting, panna இதெல்லாம் clear ஆகும்ல Swamiji? Mental chanting panna இதெல்லாம் clear ஆகும் இல்லையா?
100%.
Thank you, sir.
Before we close, the first article, Ram. Again to read, that would be. It was about 2 years ago in 1920 that Ram first kindled in the heart of his humble slave Ramdas a keen desire to realize his infinite love. To strive, to approach, to understand Ram is to recede from the world of vanishing forms, because Ram is the only truth, the only reality. Ram is a subtle and mysterious power that pervades and sustains the whole universe. Birthless and deathless is He. He is present in all things and in all creatures who only appear as separate entities due to their ever-changing forms. To wake up from the illusion of forms is to realize at once the unity or love of Ram. Love of Ram means love of all beings, all creatures, all things in the world. Because Ram is in all is in Ram, Ram is all in all. To realize this great truth, we, who through ignorance feel as separate individuals, should submit ourselves to the will and working of that infinite power, that infinite love, Ram, who is the one and all-pervading. By a complete surrender to the will of Ram, we lose consciousness of the body, which keeps us aloof from Him, and find ourselves in a state of complete identification and union with Him, who is in us and everywhere around us. So clarity on the word Ram. Will answer all our struggles.
Swamiji, I think Tivra Vairagya, as you just now said, restlessness about that is most important. We are Ragis, not Vairagis. Without that it will not. Only God, only Ram. Nothing else is required. That intensified thought, or you call the restlessness, only God, nothing else I want. That is not this entire statements of what he said, that only.
Correct.
Illusory world. If we are not coming out of that, he is saying, if you are not coming out of that, you can't. So, compulsory, this restlessness or connecting to the God. That's it. As Mataji just now, as you referred, I am not coming here for food. I want to merge. That's it. I don't want to have my own identity. This intensified, if it is not there.
That is our problem.
This is most important. Every second that must kick it from inside.
He's slowly pushing us to that restlessness. Discontentment.
Every time yes, if we are going on listening, again and again, push it ourselves towards that.
Correct.
Push it. And pray to Papa. Push us. Don't let us sit at one place.
Sure.
Hari Om, sir.
Hari Om. Discontentment for not having sufficiently progressed in our spiritual path. This is also his word. So that should come to us. In spite of the mind telling that we have done this, we have done that, we are doing this, we are doing that, we have attained this, we have attained that, all those things. But still, the discontentment is still there for not having sufficiently progressed in our spiritual path. So please step in. Hold my hand. Take me inside. Show me the switch. And this satsang, he facilitates this satsang only to trigger, to stimulate. Otherwise, the lukewarmness again will come. So every day the hammering goes on by him in so many forms.
Swamiji, the surrender means witnessing everything without affecting our mind. Without reacting, witnessing everything. Surrender means.
ഓരോന്നോടും അർത്ഥം നമ്മൾ ഉള്ളിൽ കേട്ടിട്ട് പോകാൻ തന്നെ കിടക്കും. നമ്മൾ വെളിയിലേന്ന് കേട്ടത് നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലാറുകയും തിരിയറതേ. നമ്മൾ എത്രയോ വായിച്ചോ എത്രയോ കേട്ടോ. സറണ്ടർ എന്നുള്ളത് ഒന്നുമല്ല, ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് എ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഓഫ് എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ്. പപ്പ ചോദിക്കുക, experience where we feel we are nothing and he is doing everything. அந்த സ്റ്റേജ് നമുക്ക് ആവാസ് ഉള്ളത് നമുക്ക് മനസ്സിലായില്ലേ. എന്നാല് നമ്മളെ കേട്ടിട്ടുള്ള പുറത്തുதான் അത് തിരിയും. എത്ര ചൊന്നാലും അത് തിരിയാது. അപ്പൊ ബ്യൂട്ടിഫുൾ ആ ചൊന്നത്. ഇറ്റ് ഈസ് എ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഓഫ് എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ്, not knowledge. Knowledge can be shared, experience cannot be shared, Experience has to come by now. So let us all strive. And the restlessness വരട്ടും. നമ്മ ഊതി വിടറോം. അവ തീ പിടിച്ചിക്കും.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, then see you tomorrow. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai. Yes? You wanted to say something? Dina? Sorry. Okay. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
प्रणाम.
श्री राम जय राम जय प्रणाम.
नमस्कार.